Welcome. So I'm taking a little walk down the field because we've identified a space where we want to do something quite special in the coming weeks. But before we can do that, well, clearly we've got an awful lot of work to do. Reeds to be cleared, we've got some thistles, we've got lots of docks. Basically, it's a field and we need it to not be so much of a field. So I'm going to get the strimmers out now and have a go at clearing this. Got two different devices. There's a smaller Makita battery strimmer using a string line, and then the larger device which has got two 18-volt batteries and has a blade system. Both of them highly effective and useful for this activity. As I say, highly effective, but also very time consuming. So we've been lucky enough to be sent a device to test out, which will make all of those woes go away. And I'm going to introduce you to it today. Here it is. It's made by ANTHBOT and it's called a Genie, and it is a robot lawnmower. It's got 4 cameras and automatically maps the area that we'll need it to stay within the confines of, because there's a big old field out there and we don't want him having to go and cut the whole of the field. It's got the ability to monitor what's going on with the lawn and take effective action, and also enables me to control it all using a smart app. So let's open it up and see what we've got. Reese in the background there, shoveling stones. Just finishing off the groundworks related to the shed. Some information here right to start us away with. Looks like a waterproof card. Very good idea. We need to set it up. Okay, so this is going into a little bit more detail about downloading the app, and there's an installation video guide. So I'm going to scan that once I've got all the bits out of the box, and then we can start set it up. Instructions, so this is for me to read because remember, Reese doesn't read the instructions. Some cables and a tube. Really well packed to get you out. So in here we've got some power cables. More cables. Clips, various bits and bobs for fixing. Imagine that's all to do with the power system. Another little box. Looks like an antenna. I expect for picking up these signals to get it to return to base and various other things. Guess we'll find out together. The grand unveiling, and here she is. So whether you have a close-up, we've got grippy wheels, which we all need for our application. We have a camera. We have the 2 cameras there, and our 4th camera. So positioning should be highly accurate with that amount of feedback. Close-up of that. Available for cutting. Okay, so I've powered it on. It asked me to put the pin in, so I've done that. And here it is, ready to work. So I've cleared this little area in front of the shack, and I'm going to use it for the first run to see what happens out of the box.
Please start remote control of the robot to begin creating map boundary.
very simple area. So this is just a little experiment. Walter's very fond of his little friend. Oops, I keep going the wrong way. Just marking out a very small rectangle. Ish.
App boundary creation successful. Starting to recharge.
So the app was very straightforward. It's mapped that and it's now uploading this map. But as you can see, the mower is making its way back into the charging station. And it is docked on the. I've specifically put this onto a 2.4 gigahertz network. The system that I've set up here has both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. It specifically says to use 2.4 gigahertz, so I've set up a subnetwork of sorts to be able to attach to this, so it keeps it nice and happy.
Bluetooth pairing successful. Network setup success.
So I just took a second there to find that 2.4 gigahertz network that I'd set up, and it's now connected by both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi at the same time. Then of course we've got the GPS and RTK system. So it's very connected. So it should always know where it is. Washing line, rotary washing line in. So there's a little bit of the grass there, right in the middle of this area that I've mapped out, that's got a post sticking up, so it'll be interesting to see how it manoeuvres its way around that. So I'm just going to get it to look back on the general area now and press start on the app. So here's the app, there's the little area that's mapped out for this trial run, and let's go.
Starting global cutting. Work completed. Starting to recharge.
Okay, it's making its way back to the pile, and I can show you that on the app there's a little section there in the middle which has been missed out, which is where the post is.
Starting to charge.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set it off again, and I'm going to reduce the height of the. So I'm resetting the height, and I'm going to ask it to do it twice, so it has a good cut over that small area. Off we go.
Starting global cutting.
You may have seen on the box, and you will have heard me mention RTK. That stands for real-time kinematics. The system also uses GPS, or global positioning system, and both of those technologies are used for positioning, but they differ in their levels of accuracy. With GPS, signals are always picked up from multiple satellites, and that then enables an accuracy of around 10 to 15 metres. RTK, on the other hand, enhances GPS accuracy by using the base station, so the pile in this particular application, and the RTK pylon that you'll have seen. What it does then is transmit correction data, which then enables the device to be accurate to centimetre level precision.
Work completed. Starting to recharge.
And there we are. Out of the box, plugged in, download the app, press some buttons, and it's done a fabulous little job there. Now obviously we haven't got this mower to do this little patch because okay, thank you. Eventually it will come back and do this little patch as well, but the reason we've got it is for much more challenging terrain down in the top of the field. So there's a handle built in. It's at this end, just lift underneath. That's the handle. Space for you to put your fingers in, and this is the battery cover. It advises in all of the paperwork that it's highly unlikely that you'll ever need to go into the battery and to leave that to the professionals. So that's exactly what I plan on doing. As you can see, not much dirt after having done some work, but I'm still going to clean it up, keep it in tip-top condition. My weapon of choice is just a soft brush. The cutting edges are these little razors, so they freely rotate. There are 5 of them, as you can see, and again the advice is whenever the time does come to maintain them, that you can change them over, reverse them if you like, so you're going to have the other edge cutting. Additionally then, that you would do that to all 5 of them at the same time, and then should you need to change them, you change out all 5 at the same time. So I'm going to make sure I avoid putting my fingers along the actual razor edge, because they are indeed razor sharp. Now I'm just doing a very basic clean between cuts. Clearly if you were going to be putting this away for the season, then you would do something more in depth and spray oil it up using one of your favourite sprays, is it GT or WD variety. So again, there's a connection in here. I just keep the freely rotating wheel out of the way, so you can see connection, and very well insulated with capping covers that screw together, so there's no risk of dirt or any moisture entering. And this will be, I expect, to, yes, I think it wires the cameras together, because the camera is this side and then we see cables. This is the charging end, so whenever the charging prongs are aligned, these gates open and the device then is able to charge back on its pile. Nearly got away. That's a bit of loose grass there. So you can see from the size of the grass, that clippings that have been made, that it's clearly effectively cutting the grass. Oh, don't mind me, I'm just taking my pole for a walk. Going to wander around now and try and find the best connection. Shouldn't be too difficult, I think, here, because there's not much overhanging. Nice clear view of the sky.
Very successful.
Right, so we've got solid green and the robot. I think I need to move this cable because that could be sad. So I'm just going to show you on the screen what I'm doing to map the small area. I'm not doing the proper map just now. I need to create a map. So it's giving me some warnings again, making sure that I'm safe, it's safe, and that the battery level is more than 50%. Now whenever I opened this, the battery was actually sitting at around about 80%, and I put it on to charge up to 100%, and it took minutes, next to no time. So really impressed by how quick that was. We can edit the map, which is good, which is why I'm not worrying about making this some mad map just for the purposes of doing some cutting. And it's asking me to make sure that the grass is relatively short and that the difficult reeds and things like that are out of the way, which is what I removed previously. Remove obstacles, don't have any. Okay, so it's now saying that is the RTK base station indicator, it's staying green? Yes it is, confirm. And is GPS showing solid on the actual base station? Yes, it is as well. So let's go.
Please start remote control of the robot to begin creating map boundary.
I've made it pretty tough. Didn't clear off the clippings from before. Maybe that's what I should do. But I can see it's cutting. So this is what he's done so far of the area that we mapped earlier. Not sure how long he's been going. Oh, what do I mean? Not sure how long he's been going. It tells me right there, 11 minutes. And has mowed 8 meters square. The app that comes with the robot is so comprehensive. Since we've had this, there have been some new software updates, or firmware updates. We've got a couple of new features that have been released and just automatically updated, so that's fantastic. I mean, I did give it permission to do that. You've got access to online support directly. You'll find there's an audit, if you like, of all of the things that have happened with the device since you've been using it. You're able to change your own security settings, etc. And if you need to, a bit of a reminder how the whole thing works, there's a quick guide. There's the ability to go into the remote control and remap anytime that you want to either just improve a mapped area or indeed to create a new area. This device has got a maximum square meterage of 600. Just told me that he's completed the work, so he's now on his way back to dock. Now, because I'm an absolute geek, I don't think I'm ever going to bore of watching him dock. Come on then, Ziggy boy. Oh no, there's a cricket in the way. Cricket, you better go. Oh, good, he just jumped off. Here he comes, Ziggy. Lining himself up for those prongs. And we are
Starting to charge.
docked. There are upload logs. Let's have a look at that. So that's just if there are issues you can share back with the manufacturer, should you want to. So the grass has been cut twice now using the robot. This bit has been done 3 times. This section has been cut just twice. It stays dry this afternoon. I'll set it out to do another cut. But for now I'm just going to take the clippings, rake the clippings off the top. So not bad for 2 cuts on what is effectively a field. I know that we've put the the digger over it, so that's got rid of an awful lot of the cow hooves and marks, and cow hoof divots, big holes in some places, and just little uneven areas in others. But generally speaking, a very rough piece of land 2 cuts ago. First cut you saw was without any of that treatment from the digger, and then the second cut was the first time over it after the digger had flattened it a bit, and so far so good. So I'll clear this and set it at it later. This is a better angle for you to see that the mower has indeed worked pretty hard to put stripes down where before there were just wild bits of grass, thistles, the occasional reed, and some docks. So that's the area raked, ready for cut number 3, and see what impact we have after that. Okay, so that's back on track. It's now following the zone that I'd mapped out whenever I first made this space for it. I thought it was the best way to give it an accurate test. Yeah, so here you'll see it now, making this U-turn and coming back, and with around half of the size of its body, it is picking up the grass that it missed on the first run past, and here it is coming back on a slightly altered path. So maybe a tricky piece of terrain there. I'll take a look at it. I don't want to interrupt it in the middle of this process, but I do need to test a few other features where I'll be interrupting it on purpose, but for now I want to try and get this patch of grass as accurately cut as possible with 3 complete cuts on it. And that's the cut done. So the third cut, pretty good all round. One little section there in the middle, but I think that's because whenever I was raking yesterday, I pulled up a lot that had been laid down flat on the grass underneath, and it's the only bit that it's missed. So it'll go back to the base station now to recharge, and I will give it a little bit of routine maintenance after this third cut. And on to the final test. So I'm going to delete all of the maps that I'd mapped out previously, and now I'm going to let the ANTHBOT Genie 600 to map out its own maps using the AI technology that's built in and those 4 AI enhanced cameras that you see around it. So let's see how it gets on.
Please start remote control of the robot to begin creating map boundary.
So as you can see from the screen, it's a little bit confused by the boundary, but that's not a surprise given where we are. I've tried to help it a little bit by making sure that the grass is standing up on what we consider to be its boundary, and also I've added the clippings from previous cuttings to provide it with a bit of a barrier along this left hand side. So far it's having a good old go at it. As you can see from the image, the video of the mapping process, it's lost contact with Bluetooth, and yet it's still managing to map. I mentioned earlier right at the very start about the significant connectivity that's in place for this device with those various different ways. So Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, GPS and RTK. So clearly using the cameras to read where is accessible, where isn't.
Map boundary creation successful.
So although the map that I was capturing on the app on my phone unfortunately lost connectivity with Bluetooth and therefore wasn't able to show you the full map, you can hear it's just said that the boundary has been completed and that's now making its way back to the charging station. So the next thing that will happen will be that the map will be uploaded so it knows then that this is an area it can cut. I'm hoping that the app will also update to be able to show me the full area once it's got connectivity re-established. So that's the auto map feature used. It just used the longer grass as its boundary in most cases. So the part where I put some extra grass just to give it a bit more of a hand, it used it as well, tracked it really well. So I can only imagine, because I don't have a grass space that's next to walls, but should you have a more traditional garden, it would be highly effective using the auto feature. I'm really impressed by it. So fantastic to see the application of AI in those cameras. We've also, I've modified the map slightly, so because poor old Ziggy there got a little bit lost and went behind some of the longer grass for a second, which would be, it's understandable. There was an area that looked like you could go in but then couldn't get back out again, so I've removed that from the map. It was an easy process. And now I'm just about to set it off to cut this area that it's mapped itself. Remember, most of it we mapped previously manually. This is the automatic mapping, and away we go.
Starting global cutting.
Well, you can see the cat there. It's really having a fantastic go at this. I've been reviewing this product now for 3 weeks because 1 week I wasn't able to do anything due to such poor weather. I just couldn't. Highly recommend it. It's able to handle this terrain without any difficulty. We have got no connection. We don't have broadband or anything like that, so I'm using a very much a self-designed internet access system, and it has been absolutely fine connecting to that. The fact that it's got GPS and RTK as well means that I've got fewer worries about connectivity, but obviously it's nice to be able to monitor what the device is doing in the app, and clearly you need a way of connecting to it in order to be able to do that. Really good product, as I say, really robust. I have not put it on really high inclines, but you'll see the path that we showed in some other shots has quite the climb to it, and again the robot had absolutely no trouble whatsoever with those chunky tyres on the back. It's doing really well here. It's tackling docks. None of the other things that usually grow in a field have popped up in this area since we started to maintain it a bit, but docks definitely have, and you can see some leaves left, but the robot has actually handled them without any difficulty at all. So thank you very much, ANTHBOT, for choosing us and sending us the Genie 600 to try out and to feature. It's not been a difficult thing to do because it genuinely is going to save me a huge amount of time, and that alone is fantastic. The fact that it's an intelligent machine that can do things and learn as it goes along is even better, an absolute bonus. So if you've got any questions about it, please feel free to ask them in the comments as always. And if you've got any comments yourself about whether or not you think that you'd be going for something like this now after seeing that would be fab to know as well. And you'll see there are links, etc. down in the usual place for anybody who would like to avail themselves of this product from ANTHBOT.